Evening, everyone. I hope you're well. So, before we dive into the Ask Me Anything, I am going to quickly show you around the vault, and I will post the link to get access to it. So there's 30 days free access to the vault. I will just quickly share my screen. If you're on my email list, you'll have had an email about this already. But if you're not, then let's just have a little look inside. So I've been working on this for you guys over the last few days, and it's just a snippet of some of the information. Put it into a program for you, and it's yours. So these are the kind of categories that we cover, which I think are basically the main business categories. How to set your business up properly, what mindset you need to be in at all times, how to build your brand and generate leads. Anyone that knows me knows I'm very passionate about marketing, and it's for a good reason, because it really does make a difference to your business results. Property strategies, again, we need to know what we're doing, but it's not the be all and end all. There's a lot greater things, I think, than property strategies. And if property strategies was the only way to create a 7-figure business, then everyone that went on a training course would be a millionaire. Unfortunately, they're not, because there's a lot more involved in than just property strategies. So, if you are thinking about training, or you're thinking about educating yourself, then just be mindful that property strategy training isn't going to get you to where you need to be. You do need the full package. You need to know how to market your business, how to run your business, how to deliver your product, how to build your brand, how to generate leads. There's so much more included in it. So basically, the platform this is my coaching platform, and people on my 6- and 7-figure programs also have access to a very similar platform with more content inside, but there's plenty of content in here for you guys. So each category comes with a various amount of videos, and then each video section has a very simple video. Quite a lot of them have breakout documents for you, and then you kind of just move through that, and then just move through the categories as you see fit, and just mark them off as complete. Now, there is a wealth of information in here to get anybody started, get you onto the next part of your journey, and make sure that you make a massive difference to what you're doing. So as I said, I will pop in the comments after this a link to get access to this 30 days entirely free. And we've had some really good feedback from it already. One client said they'd already been through all the videos. One good thing about my stuff is I hate getting onto a program where the videos are really long, and a lot of my stuff is built around how to coach people. I've studied that, I've been educated in that, and the human brain switches off after 21 minutes. So creating videos that are an hour long are almost pointless unless you can continually re-engage them and get them back in a state of awareness after the 21 minutes. Okay, so I like to keep things concise, give people the information, what they need to then go and implement and take action, because ultimately it's the action that gets the results. It's not the knowledge. The knowledge just serves as a foundation to be able to allow most people the confidence to go and take the action, but it's the action that gets the results. So I like to keep my videos nice and compact, give you the points that you need, and then you go and take action from that, and ultimately you get the results. And that's why people on my 6- and 7-figure programs continue to just generate more and more success. They get results, they even surprise themselves, and we have a great community building up, and the results speak for themselves. But it's because it's action driven training. It's not about here's a load of stuff, go and watch a load of videos and then figure it out for yourself, because you can do that on YouTube. So this should give you an insight, and it should also help you. It's it's been put together. There's a lot of good stuff in here. There are a couple of longer videos in here, and they are from previous live training sessions that we've done that I thought are really worthwhile doing. So, you want to maybe break them into sections, based on that 21-minute rule. You might want to break them into sections. Obviously, when they're ran live, it is a bit easier to keep people engaged, and, you'll see that on the training, how it's done by getting people to interact. But, when you're watching it on playback, it is a bit harder. So maybe split them up into different sections. So that is my program, and or my the vault that I've created for everybody. It's open to anybody can have access to that. And so I'll take some questions now. If anybody's got anything, just pop them in the comments and we'll get them answered for you. I know I'm just in a Clubhouse room before. There's plenty of stuff going on there. It seems to be a popular place at the minute. I was well into it a few weeks ago. I've kind of dipped out of it a bit now. I think it soaks a lot of your time up, and I'm not sure how productive it is. But there's a lot of noise going on in those rooms at the minute. A lot of people who can't seem to answer a question without telling people what their website address is and how they can get in touch and what products they can buy from them. But that's the world we live in these days, right? So. I think, unfortunately, I think that's where Clubhouse is going to go, and it's going to be a bit of a pitching ground, and I think it'll lose its value. But at the minute, there are still some decent rooms kicking around. So, I've got, we have some exciting stuff happening in the group this year. I'm going to really ramp up what's going on in the group. And, if you know anyone or you're not in the 7-Figure group, so this is streaming live to YouTube and to the 7-Figure group. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you get in the group, because there's got loads of great stuff on there. I have what we got coming up. I've got obviously we did the podcast last night, streaming them live now, so you can actually ask questions whilst we're doing the podcast, and then that will obviously go onto iTunes. We did Mark from Boostly last night. Great podcast session there. The podcast went out today with Nicole Bremner. If you haven't listened to that, she is a developer from London. She's got like 40,000 Instagram followers. She has sold over 25,000 copies of her book. A real phenomenal businesswoman. Left the corporate banking world to go into property, and has made a real dent in what she's doing. So really inspirational person to listen to. Next week I've got Carlos Adele, who is connected with me via my current mentorship, and incredible man. He has gone from the wrong end of the scale. Brief, I don't want to spoil it too much, but he was a bit of a naughty boy, let's just put it that way, and he was mixed in with the wrong people, doing the wrong things, and on the verge of death. And he decided to turn his life around, and now he makes he's making millions through LinkedIn. So he's going to show us how he does it, and there'll be plenty of unbelievable tips in that for building your brand and getting yourself out there, using maybe a different platform than Facebook, and we can all make it relevant to our own businesses. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I know I'm personally looking forward to it, because I think I can up my LinkedIn game. So I'll be definitely interviewing him with intent and listening to every word he's got. We also have a couple of other people coming up soon. I've got Victor, who I've just been on his show, and so I'd like to invite him over to my show. He flips property in America, and again, a really good story, and it's interesting to see how different it is done over there to how it's done here. But there are very much some core principles that stay throughout, and it's really interesting to I think connect with these 7-8 figure business owners and see what their common habits are, what they do on a daily basis, how they run their businesses. And all of us can take tiny little snippets of information from these, and we can bring it into our own businesses and then make a difference going forward. So it's hugely important to study and take a note of people who are ahead of you. I think it's one thing I've done for many, many years now, and I think it's a real good thing to do, is just watch how they sort of go about their lives, watch how they go about their businesses, how do they operate their businesses, who do they have around them, you know, what do they engage in. It's you know, you'll start to see very similar traits come out. One of the traits I found, which led me onto my morning stuff, was most successful millionaires. I think it's something silly like 74% get up, you know, early doors and do a lot of their work first thing, you know. So I was like, well, if 74% of millionaires are doing this, then surely there's something in it. So, you know, I'll give it a whirl. And it was a game changer for me. You know, my productivity levels went up. I can get work done without being disrupted. And more to the point, I get stuff done and then I've got the rest of the day to myself. So it almost buys me time as well. And so, you know, I get up at 5, I work till sort of 7:15. And, you know, and that can be me done for the day if I choose. And quite often, especially at the minute during lockdown when there's not much else to do, I choose to continue doing other stuff and you know, and commit to other things, but the core of the work is done, and then the business has moved forward that day. So even if nothing else happened, if I wanted to go and, you know, play golf all day or whatever, go out with the family, go away, the business has moved forward, and that sits well with me, because then, you know, I come back the next day, I do the same, and the business moves forward again, and nothing can get in the way. And I think before I discovered that you would have all these good intentions of moving your business forward, but you go out to your 9 to 5 job, you know, it all, you know, just stops. And then you think, oh, I really can't be bothered to do anything for my property business. And ultimately your property business doesn't move forward that day. So if you are running this as a you know, a side thing at the minute and building it alongside other jobs, but you want it to be your priority, then make it your priority now and do it before the rest of your day takes hold of yourself. And you know, really changed my life. You know, it's changed my results, it's changed the way I operate, it's changed how much time I've got back for myself. And, you know, it's no doubt been a factor in why the business has gone from, you know, a small business to, you know, what I would consider a business to be heading in the right direction over the last few years. So, you know, I've got a lot to thank for that. And that was from studying people, you know, and saying, okay, well, that works for them and that works for them, so I'm going to give that a go. And I think that's what you've got to do at times is, you know, you look at, okay, well, if you want to do, you know, HMOs as a strategy, right? Who's got, you know, a good bunch of HMOs, you know, who's constantly putting information out about HMOs, who, you know, who seems to know what they're doing with HMOs. Okay, I'm going to watch them. I'm going to study them. I'm going to, you know, watch their videos. I'm going to see what information they're dropping. I'm going to see how they're running their business. I'm going to try and get with them and network with them and ask them questions. You know, you've got access to this, you know, Facebook right now. You've got this Clubhouse thing going on. You've got Twitters. You've got podcasts. You know, there's all sorts of ways that you can connect with these people and actually ask them questions to get your answers. And you know, it's a really easy way to do it if you put the effort in and you go and find the answers out for yourself. And if you ask good questions, you know, make sure you might only get one shot to ask 1 or 2 good questions. So why not use that and make sure that you ask the right question that's going to move your business forward each week. And you know, if you're not moving your business forward each week, then you are going to struggle to make headway. I do believe that you shouldn't really overwhelm yourself, and I see this far too much is with a lot of the property people in a lot of the forums, just like reading the questions that get asked, and they're trying to like set things up way down the line that don't really need to be focused on right now, whereas, you know, they just need to be focused on the action points that are going to actually get them to that point. But because they focus on all of that, they never actually do the points down here to get them there, and therefore they end up getting nowhere, you know. Or they're constantly asking questions about strategy and information and knowledge, and, you know, thinking that they need to understand it all before they actually take any action. And, you know, for me, it's just like, I knew very little. I knew absolutely nothing about serviced accommodation. I didn't even know what Airbnb was until the day that I went and set an Airbnb unit up. You know, I was having a coffee with a friend. He told me about it. I went to IKEA, I bought some furniture. I came home, put some photographs on this thing called Airbnb, and I made the rest up. Okay. like, I didn't know about service accommodation. I had no idea what it was, but I just took action, you know, and now look where we are. You know, I'm you know, on the verge of setting up a handful of essays over in Dubai. You know, got a phone call tomorrow morning to progress that further. You know, never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that, you know, several years ago. But by just taking action rather than thinking, okay, right, you've told me what Airbnb is. I'm now going to learn everything about service accommodation. I'm going to figure out what a channel manager is. I'm going to figure out what you know, how the bookings work, how I'm going to manage my cleaners, what linen am I going to use, you know, oh, but am I going to use a lockbox or am I going to use meet and greet? Like, figure it out once you've taken the action, you know. And for me, that's the best way. And as long as you are sensible with what you're getting into, then, you know, you're always going to stay on the right side of it, you know. And you've just got to, don't be lazy, you know, don't just go and pay a deal sourcer to give you a deal and get burnt. There's plenty of that going on at the minute, especially in the rent to SA sort of sector. But you know, the only thing I would say you really need to educate yourself on is the numbers, you know. So figuring out how to actually analyze a deal and make sure that it's going to work financially for you. But apart from that, the operational side of it all, just figure that out as you go along. You know, it's dead easy to find out. And I also think that learning on the job is probably the best way anyway. So, you know, it works incredibly well, and it worked well for me. And you know, you speak to most entrepreneurs that have built businesses have built them by solving problems. So, you know, I had a problem, I couldn't get a flat rented, so I decided to try this. You know, I solved that problem. I then had a problem, you know, I didn't really know how to then put it all together, so I then solved that problem. You know, then I solved the problem of scaling it, and you're just constantly solving problems along the way. And when you go to solve the problems, you find the information, rather than becoming like a course junkie, getting all the information, thinking there's a holy grail and a secret before you can then move forward and take any action. So always be thinking about that, and always just be taking action, you know. As the old Nike tick says, just do it. And, you know, I think it's a great sort of mantra to live by. So, but yeah, so that's what's coming up in the groups. That's what's coming up from me. It seems, if anyone does have any questions, pop them in the comments. I will pop the link to the vault in the description here, so you'll get access to that. Feel free to download it, get your 30 days free access and enjoy it. But more at the point, use it, put what is in there into action. You know, there's plenty of good stuff in there to get you kickstarted on most of the strategies, and you know, you'll be able to just take action, get your mind right, you know, stop procrastinating, stop, you know, trying to analyze every deal and find the perfect deal and end up getting nowhere. You know, we're kicking on sort of mid-January now. If you are running the rent-to-rent strategy, you should be on the verge of signing up a deal right now. And, you know, it's I'm a firm believer that one a month should be a minimum target for anybody. Doesn't matter what experience you've got. If you're not on the verge of that, if you've not got stuff coming into your pipeline, you need to be, you know, fixing it. You're obviously doing something slightly wrong, and you maybe need just a bit of a tweak to find out why. More than likely, if you look deep, it'll be because the activity levels, you're probably not doing enough activity levels. But you know, if you want to have a bit of a barometer, one deal per month. So midway through the first month, you should have a pipeline. You should have a few potentials. You should have possibly put a few offers in, and you should be thinking, okay, I'm going to get one of these over the line in the next few days and get it set up before the end of the month. That's kind of my mentality. That's how I work. I believe that's firmly possible for most people. You know, we have continued to acquire well in January, and you know, I think we're going to get off to a good start, and we're going to get off to our target start for the year, which is what we need to do, is make sure we crush month number one, because that gives us the confidence to then build month number two. And then, you know, that's how you have successful years, by just constantly building month by month by month. But we do all this by setting it right for, you know, we knew what our plan was well before the quarter started. You know, we haven't just come into the quarter and been like, okay, we'll just see what happens. We know what the activity levels are, you know, to get stuff done. We know what the activity levels need to be on all areas of the business to hit the various KPIs that we need. And, you know, by pushing those metrics, we'll get the results. And that goes for every area of the business. And you should be doing the same. You know, even if you haven't got any units, you should be starting to figure out, how are you going to get them? What are the activity levels required? What are the numbers required? And this is where you can just ask people. You know, ask people that have done it. You know, just, you've got no data to rely on. You can ask and get averages, and then you can kind of figure it out for yourself, and then work it backwards and figure out, you know, how many viewings do you need to go on, how many offers do you need to make, how many people do you need to open conversations with. and so on and so forth. And that makes a massive difference to your results. Just live by the numbers and trust the numbers and push it forward. So, but that's it for now. I'm gonna love yous and leave yous. I will post the link in the description. Make sure you click on it, get access to the vault. It's yours, 30 days free of charge. I hope you enjoy it and multiply it. I hope you get some value from it. That's what it's there for. I spent time putting it together for you guys, so I really hope you use it and you get value from it. And enjoy your evening, and I shall catch you through the week.